Hello, and thank you for joining us. President Trump has extended the ceasefire with Iran just hours before it was set to expire tonight. The president wrote in part on Truth Social, quote, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, we've been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. In light of the statement, a White House official said the second round of in-person peace talks in Pakistan are on hold. Vice President JD Vance was expected to lead a delegation of U.S. negotiators to Islamabad today. President Trump had been adamant that he would not extend the ceasefire. Here's what he said when asked about it in an interview this morning.
Well, I don't want to do that. We don't have that much time because by the time both parties get there, as you know, they just got the okay to go forward, which I knew they were going to do anyway. I mean, I don't think they had a choice. They have to negotiate. And, you know, the one thing I'll say is this: Iran can get themselves on a very good footing if they make a deal. They can make themselves into a strong nation again, a wonderful nation again.
His statement did not address the Strait of Hormuz, that key shipping lane where 20% of the world's oil flows through. Iran was supposed to open the strait as part of the initial ceasefire deal, but the regime this weekend resumed strikes on oil tankers in retaliation for that U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports. That blockade will continue for now, according to the president. There is still a massive U.S. military presence in the region, including more than a dozen warships. Roughly 50,000 U.S. service members are currently in the Middle East, with thousands more on the way. Let's bring in CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi. President Trump was adamant there would be no extension. Why the change?
Yes, he was. He certainly, as far as this morning, was saying that he was not going to extend this ceasefire, but then a short while ago announced that they would be extending it seemingly indefinitely at this moment, and he's attributing it to two reasons. The first, the Pakistani negotiators, the two people who he's been talking to, including the Field Marshal Munir and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who have asked the president to not attack Iran and to let these negotiations play out as they're happening. The second reason was the president said that the Iranian side is seriously fractured. And this is what I've also heard from White House officials who I've been talking to about this. Is part of the reason why these negotiations have been difficult is the fact that some of what Iran has been saying in public is not what they are saying behind the scenes. So therefore, it's been difficult for them to discern what they mean, given the fact that Iran's leadership has been decapitated in the early days of this war. And now there are several factions within Iran, some of which who want to have negotiations, some of which who don't. So therefore, because of that, the president is citing that as a reason. So we've heard from the Pakistani negotiators saying they're hopeful that there could be a second round of talks, hopefully soon, but we don't have a date for that. And this White House is not saying at this moment when or if they will go to those talks at all.
What do we know about this current ceasefire extension now? When does this go until?
We don't know. We don't know. The president said he is having the blockade remain in place, and he's extending the ceasefire until their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded. Question being, does discussions concluded mean a deal is signed? What does that mean exactly? We've been asking the White House. No answer as of yet what they specifically mean. And as far as the proposal, what is the proposal? Because we know what the U.S. terms have been, which is no enrichment, dismantling those sites, no money for proxies. On the Iranian side, they've been saying that's really all a non-starter, and they actually want war damages for everything that they've lost thus far. So curious to see what these negotiations would look like going forward. We should also note that the Pakistanis did say a second round of talks is scheduled at Islamabad. But as of right now, the Iranians have said they're not willing to go because that blockade remains in place. So it's a little bit tit for tat at this moment. And questions remain about whether they would even go to Islamabad, both sides, for these negotiations.
Olivia Rinaldi, thank you. CBS News Middle East reporter Courtney Kealy joins us now. So the president says that the Iranian government is seriously fractured. What do we know about the regime? Where is Mojtaba Khamenei?
Well, big question. We have not seen him since the day his father was killed and other family members were. There are rumors that he's in the holy city of Qom, where he studied when he was young as a religious, cleric. He's always been on the down low, so to speak, and low profile, but this is pretty much taking to the extreme. We haven't seen a picture of him. We haven't seen a video of him. We can't tell if it's his voice.
He could be seriously hurt.
He probably is, and that's what I'm hearing so much over the, since the last 6 weeks that it starts to really seem like it's very likely. But without him as the ultimate decider, like his father was, who was like God on earth, representative to this extreme ideology, what you see is not necessarily a factionalization, but a militarization. So you might have different families, like a former president, Rouhani, or you have the foreign ministry doing certain things, but then you see the Iranian Revolutionary Guard pushing it in a different direction. So what I'm hearing and seeing in videos and hearing from people in Tehran is that there's more regimists out on the streets cheering, the slogans, the women in the chadors with only their face showing and their hands showing, like a real pledge of allegiance to whoever is in charge. And it's really the military. It's really the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. And I've said this before, they have tentacles all over the country. And they're playing just as hard as President Trump does, and they're not backing down. And it seems to give them a certain amount of determination. The more he tries to cajole and push and threaten, the more they dig in.
What will you be watching for in the days ahead?
We're really going to see what we can look at the socials, see what the foreign minister is saying, see what the Speaker of Parliament is saying, see if there's any military action. They want the blockade lifted, so we have to see if that happens too.
Courtney, Kealy, thank you.